Cool, so this video is called the law of assumption. See me looking down there, that is the whiteboard, and if you see me looking here, there's notes. But yeah, this video is about the law of assumption. I'm going to explain it to you through my perception essentially, and what I think it is to you, basically. So the law of assumption is to assume something has taken place, and that's it. You just assume that it's happened, and that's it. You assume it's true, and that's it. There's no second guess, literally. So the law of assumption, you essentially, like Neville Goddard said, you essentially write what you assume is true about yourself, and then have a visualization of someone not greeting you, sorry, of someone congratulating you about what has taken place. So there's someone congratulating you, and assume what you're assuming has taken place already and is true. And that's the law of assumption. Because you then believe that it's already taken place, it has, and then you embody and act as the version of yourself that this has already taken place as, and now that you identify as that version of yourself, essentially you are now operating in the present as the version of yourself that's already done the assumption. Therefore the assumption is now in the past. So now the visualization is essentially deja vu, because it's deja vu, it's already taken place. Everything you have in abundance. So then it will happen, and you'll see it happen even quicker because you have no importance to it. So the more importance you put to it, the longer it could take if you view important things as taking longer, because that's your perception of it. But the art of effortless living is essentially you internally, certainly knowing with certainty that your assumption has taken place as soon as you say it has, and now acting as if from that version of yourself it has already taken place. Because as within, as without, so even though you have you're now the internal version of yourself, you're still doing, so you're still going about your day, you're still doing things, but except you identify it as the version of yourself where this has already taken place. And because this version of yourself is already taken place, you're embodying the end result. So you're embodying the end result of your visualization. So that accomplishment, visualization that you're rehearsing in your head of that person that is trusted to you, or that person that you love, or that person that's close to you, congratulating you. That visualization there, because you're looping it is therefore taking place. Because you assume this has already happened, and you're acting as if the version of yourself where the assumption has already taken place, essentially it has. And on all other realms apart from the physical, time doesn't exist. So as soon as you identify as a new version of yourself, with a new self-concept, a new self-beliefs, a new set of self-worth, a new set of, let's say, way of dressing, whatever, but this new version of yourself, because you're visualizing this visualization and then now acting as if in everything you do, you're now that version of yourself. As soon as you identify as it, you assume that I am without qualification or knowing how. So by assuming that it's already taken place and you don't care if you're qualified, there's no importance to it, you have absolute certainty. And through essentially the law of liberty, which is like the law of perfection, through this law of perfection, you can assume that you live your perfect life in the law of liberty, because it's the law of perfection essentially. So through assuming that you're living your perfect life, you will then be manifesting your perfect life. But some people might be like, their perfect life is not their perfect life. That's because you, let's say, acting as if the version of your perfect life is already taking place. You, as that new version of yourself, with a new self-concept, new set of beliefs, new everything, yeah? This new version of yourself, you can essentially also, because you have a new set of beliefs, you can change what you envision your perfect life being. And because, like you said, you identify as the version of you where your perfect life is taking place, whatever you then put is your perfect life and emotionally, intensely associate yourself with an experience through visualization, you then identify as it, and the manifestation takes place because you're assuming it, you're visualizing it, you're emotionally intensely feeding it as if it's already taken place, which the subconscious essentially that speaks to the subconscious. So when you emotionally experience something intensely, the subconscious clings onto that more. So through that and your visualization of it taking place and being congratulated, whether you're excited or not, it's already taken place. The more excited you are, obviously, the more emotionally intense you feel towards it, obviously, the somewhat, I would say, quicker it is because you feel it more intensely. So it's almost instant, but it's like with feeling relaxed, it's almost like you can do this almost instant as well, because if you feel relaxed often, it will just come instantly because you always feel relaxed. And you can see that in your, let's say, desired reality or your perfect life or your manifested version of yourself, that you do live peaceful, and then you can define your version of peaceful, and you will then see it taking place as you assumed it would, because you're acting as if you assumed it took place already, and you're embodying the end result. So you're embodying this assumption has already taken place. So it's like writing something in past tense and knowing this happened. And then because you assume that this has already happened and already taken place, you're not acting as if the version of you with a new self-worth and a new everything, and it is then taking place because you're assuming you're now this version of yourself, and that's the law of assumption. So by internally assuming that you're now this version of yourself and visualizing it with that, emotionally intensely experiencing it and associating with it, and then redefining the words your subconscious, your self-concept, your set of beliefs, your new self-worth, your new desired reality version of yourself. Assuming this version of yourself now lives and you identify as it, it's already taken place, then you going through your day, you are doing. So by doing, it's because I have a blocked nose, but by doing, you are essentially manifesting, because you're always manifesting regardless. It's just not people are conscious of it. So people are not conscious that they're internally manifesting, and that's all it is. Now I'm just making you consciously aware of it and how to essentially use the law of assumption through my explanation. But yeah, so the law of assumption is to assume something, write it detailed, right? Everything you assume has taken place in this version of yourself. Now, have a new self-worth as this version of yourself. Assume you have a new self-worth, a new self-concept, a new set of beliefs, a new self-worth, I think I said already, a new version of yourself, and just assume that this has already taken place. Now, because you assume this has already taken place, have a visualization of someone close to you congratulating you about it. get into a state of relaxation or meditation, relax somewhere, have this visualization of someone congratulating you, emotionally intense the experience with it, identify as this version of yourself now, where this has already taken place. And through that emotional association with it, and you now identifying as the version of you where this has already taken place, the visualization then essentially has taken place. So therefore, through your doing and what you're doing, you will therefore see it take place. Just like you assumed, you could be unqualified, you could be, it doesn't make sense, it could happen in an unexpected way. Just how you assumed is how it will happen, and that's the law of assumption. It's that simple. So yeah.